Game number 1 here. Melkor instantly housed his Mayans. That's pretty astounding there. We're going to see how this one turns out because, of course, Melkor hates Mattheus. TeRRoR, of course, he's going to know what to do as Britons. So there we go, there's the current ratings of the players as they play. 2150 for TeRRoR and basically 2k3 for Melkor. Melkor, of course, hitting near 2k4. And of course, TeRRoR hitting quite good highs of similar high levels, you know, from farming arena players. So we're going to see how interesting this one goes. Melkor, of course, mines, but starting without loom. It's debatable whether you should get loom or not. It's generally just handy, but you know, in some cases you might just want to save the extra 50 gold so you don't have to spend extra gold miner to be able to afford to click up to Castle Age. Melkor loves to go scouts, so Mattheus is kind of the anti-him. Although you can open crossbows and all these kinds of things, he is a favour of the low risk map control strategy. So opening with, you know, one range crossbows, one range archers, even just getting fletching alone, that might be a very good alternative for him to do in this kind of case. Looking at his map, pretty safe main stone. He has 3 nice easy to push deer, that's just such a good mental thing. Not great second stone is mines, maybe you don't want that. Second gold outside, another second gold outside, but his main gold's pretty safe. No extra golds in the back, but an extra stone, so that's quite handy. Looking over here, we have TeRRoR, aka John Slow. He's just going to do his usual build stuff. His map is looking pretty... I mean, his main gold is quite far there, but nothing directly outside. Back second stone, pretty nice. Back main stone, very, very safe, very nice. Especially against a wood line, that just makes it that much, you know, better. Safe 3 easy to push deers, that's pretty good. Both second golds in the back. Really safe. The extra golds are here, pretty close to TeRRoR, but pretty much between them. And this one here, probably a better advantage for TeRRoR. The only extra stone, yeah, that's in Melkor's base. So TeRRoR does have such a map lead here. When you're Britons and you can boom this easily, it might be quite a good thing to do. You might want to boom something like maybe champions and the mine player doesn't decide to push. If the mine player does decide to push, then, you know, your map's pretty safe in this case. What I would like to see from these players is for the mine player to obviously maybe open eagles, maybe try to take the map control that way. Or maybe just go straight plumes and the plumes might be able to work this one out. Britons are actually decently anti-plume, the range can be really useful, although without ballistics, you know, that's a bit of a problem. And also going quite fast to imp with Britons is not the best idea, whereas with Mayans you can have the plumes and then the trebs. You have a castle to defend if you do go for longbows, but it's not going to be working out for you in the long run. You're probably going to die towards the early imp. You get a little bit of a power spike, but it's not really enough. TeRRoR's build here, he should have the boar in perfect time. Melkor pushing in deer like a mofo. Looking at the map, I would definitely say that Melkor does have to try and push for map control here, and obviously with the stones he can just easily do it with plumes. That'd be quite a good idea. And welcome to the stream, WR. TeRRoR can obviously play the safe game, but you know, he might be expecting plumes, he might be trying to do something to counteract that. Something Britain players can do is like fast up crossbow, that way if you're just expecting a castle, maybe you could actually do a little bit of, you know, damage denying it, but that just purely relies on them placing the castle badly, which is not always going to be the case. Going for a cheeky 5 on berries over here. This isn't the plumes I know. Thank you, Vibly, for letting me know that. 5 on wood. Is this very fast eagles? Is this very fast crossbow? This is fast up for something quite low eco. This is not what I would usually expect to see from Melkor, but this is not going to pull off an amazing boom, right? What? I can remember seeing this game, but I don't remember this happening. Something very interesting going on there with this build. He's struggling 10 gold, which would usually mean if he's struggling 30 gold, then that would mean selling 100 wood, but only 10 gold means he's going to sell 100 stone, so he's maybe not going to boom. 25 plus 2, pretty fast up. Of course, TeRRoR with a good eco bonus as well, the Britain sheep. That's a really nice eco bonus. You get a lot of food, so you get up really fast. At the same time as you can build TCs much cheaper wood-wise. So if you do up fast, then you will still have the resources to make them. So Britons are quite nice for booming in that regard. He is also 5 on berries over here. 4 on wood, 2 on wood. It's pretty low on wood, but I guess maybe he just wants to chop stragglers all day. TeRRoR seems to always go this build. He doesn't seem to like... his knowledge of proper builds is a little bit low, is what I would say. He tends to do this 25 plus 2 every game. But I think maybe he just prefers relying on macro to win rather than more tedious builds and knowledge. It might be the way to play. It might improve your longevity in playing. Melkor up, Market Blacksmith. Moved a lot to wood. 9 on gold, obviously not crossbow, obviously not eagle, can't afford either of those. Of course, being in mind, he doesn't exactly have any gold free units like scouts, which are, you know, a common opening. He's going to mine back the stone he's going to sell. I can only assume he wanted the chance to be on stone in case TeRRoR trushed him. Or in case maybe he wants to do some kind of tower defense or have a defensive castle, maybe, in case he gets pushed. That's the only reason I would do this build, to be on stone. It's a pretty unusual build, but you know, it does have its applications. Of course, you do see Stefan doing his build where he would struggle some gold and then just mine stone and then sell stone to up. In that case, he usually has quite a lot of stone for doing things like a castle defense if he needs to boom. Stefan obviously booming quite a lot. He does no proper strategies, but he does boom a lot of the time. And when he goes on stone like this, you know, it works really well. Maybe Melkor's copying Stefan, maybe he's working on this. I don't like the one lumber camp though. I would probably push that one a little bit further. I don't recall Melkor getting his eco upgrades. Oh, you got double axe and horse collar. He's flowing a decent bit of food, considering the money he has on food. TeRRoR adding more farms. Of course, you can still afford 2 TCs really, really easily with this. You can afford, you know, 3, coming up to 4. But he's obviously going to probably 3 TC boom of this. Pretty common in 1v1s is to just 3 TC boom rather than 4. Maybe he wants to just have the extra wood, you know, open another monastery right away as per standard 1v1 behavior, and then just add the TCs. Just going to TC this stone down here by the looks of it. Yep, typical monastery opening over here. 2 TCs being added right away. Looking over here for Melkor, he is going for a 3 TC boom with the Mind Stone. That is... As I said, I thought it was a very interesting build. Maybe... I don't know how to really rate this because... he's still not on stone. He didn't TC the stone. He's going to be close to it. He's not going to go for plumes. Booming his mines is not always the best. Or farms still work, just a little bit slower. And of course against Britons do have a better boom in my opinion than, you know, almost every other civ. They're such a really good civ when it comes to booming. What's a mine player going to go in the late game? I don't know. They're probably going to struggle a little bit against things like Champion plus Onager. Of course, an expensive combination to get away with. If your Britain's only 3 TCing, you know, in a 1v1, it's going to be quite unlikely. But if he's not pushing with plumes right away, I think maybe he'll be able to get away with it. So if he does a fast 3TC into maybe straight plumes, he might have a better option, because obviously plumes you can snipe either onagers in very, very small quantities or before they're even onagers, so you might be able to do a bit of damage very, very early imp if he does a quick 3TC. Villager count wise, he is a couple of ahead, but now he's only getting wheelbarrow. Quick look at the farmer counts, he has 15 as opposed to 15. These players are looking pretty equal in terms of that count. So I'm not entirely sure what his plan is going to be here, because neither player's just taking map control, of course. Two monks from TeRRoR, so they're just going to pick up the relics. He already has one, but there's no military here from Melkor, so there's literally nothing he's going to be able to do to prevent TeRRoR taking all the relics. 5 relics in this kind of matchup is actually pretty huge, especially since the mines need a lot of gold to make their units. They're pretty much, you know, gold dependent, which is why their late game is generally not considered the best, just only earlier than that. He should delete that scout now, it's been blocked too much. Yeah. So yeah, taking the relics away from the mine player is the main point here. Not to mention all the golds are in the back of TeRROR's base, so even if he does get pushed, he has no seconds to steal. I think Melkor's build here is probably going to be really fast plumes or maybe really fast eagles. Britons do have decent champions. So, you know, champions being a slower option, if he's, as I said, if he's fast, he'll be able to have a good impact. Don't like the lack of a mining camp. I would probably place a mining camp here. It beats building it here because obviously you don't want to trap villagers in. If you can only, you know, trap in 2, you're going to have to do some insane micro to get like 6 villagers trapped in there, and then I wouldn't advise it. Gold mining coming from Melkor, he is going quite ham on the gold at this point. There's quite a lot of villagers on gold. But then again, he wasn't making any when he was booming, so he's going to aim for probably 30 farms. I'd say 30 farms is good for a mine player if you want to up fast. Eagles, as I said, the food cost is very low, it's just the gold. As well as plumes. So he's going... he needs a bit of stone. I don't think he's going to have a castle up anytime soon, but he's probably going to build up by the time he's going up to Imp. Maybe for conscription, maybe for the plumes, maybe for El Dorado, depends what he's aiming for. You can't really tell off the bat. Both players have fully scouted out their back areas. And TeRRoR does have 3 relics and he's about to pick up the 4th one here, and he just brought in the 5th one. Oh no. Where's the other relic? I don't see it. There's the 4th one. That's odd. I must be blind, but maybe it's just a 4 relic map. Melkor selling some wood to be able to up. 2254. That is a quite fast click up for a 3TC. I don't see any relics, I only see wolves. Oh, he must have had a monk sitting around somewhere holding it that I didn't see. Anyway, that's a really fast click up. He's going to be 20 on the lower side of 26 min imp. That's really nice for a 3TC. He's going ham on the stone now. He's not just going to want the 1 castle, he's probably going to look for 2. It's not here. It was here. Well, there was one here, but that's where the relics have been hiding sometimes. Yeah, as I said, TeRRoR must have just been holding it, and I can see the green monk, because obviously green's pretty difficult to see. I might even Alt-G this. Castle coming up here, and TeRRoR can scout that, I believe, because... yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... yeah, so scouting... what's the line of sight of a scout in Castle Age? I don't remember. In Feudal Age it's 6, in Castle Age it's... what, 8? I just remember it's more, but... Anyway, so we see fletching coming in from both players. We already saw it from Melkor. I was just looking really quickly to the side. Castle coming up over here. I'm glad you clarified that date. Okay, Bracer now coming in for Melkor. He's now not going to be able to afford the lead plume for a little time, but he is able to build another castle, and he's going to be building it forward apparently. We're in his point of view. He can't scout too much, but he's just going to build it here. I'm curious as to when TeRRoR is able to scout this. Or maybe he won't be able to, but he does have his own castle here. He is going to be in somewhat soon. Of course, we are going to have Werewolf Trebs, maybe, because they're just generally going to win all the Treb fights. A little bit late to Imp for TeRRoR, but, you know, it's not too bad he has 5 relics. He can hold off. He's building a nice safe back castle here. He did add a TC up here. He's taking quite a lot of stone. He's still got this stone if he needs it. A couple extra gold still. He has lots of room. He doesn't have much to fight this Catharan, but he does have some, you know, Mangonels. I think he's just going to go for Onager here. No barracks, no champs apparently. He made a longbow. Don't quite know why. TeRRoR now imping, already preparing Trebs, whereas over here for Melkor, he's quite late to the Treb part. He was making some plumes, but to be fair, both these players now have 2 castles, so TeRRoR's not too far behind at all with this. Third castle coming up, a little bit ballsy to build it here in case this does get pushed back. It's quite a volatile area at the moment. No chemistry from Melkor. He does have university, he can't afford it. I would personally get chemistry at this point just to have that little bit of extra strength. But yeah, that's going to go down. Onager almost coming in, ballistics coming from TeRRoR. Ballistics maybe for not skirms in this case, maybe longbows. More siege workshops coming up. He is selling food when realistically he can just be selling about wood, getting chemistry. Don't know why he would sell. I mean, I could think of why he wants to save wood to get a lead plume, but then I don't know why he's selling food when he doesn't have enough of that either way. Maybe if you just treb these onagers a little bit better, maybe a bit of a difference, but that's a fair trade, at least 2 onagers for all those trebs. Just keeping your castle alive is a big factor here. The late game of the Brins is not so amazing, but against things like Mayans, it could be quite good. Decent amount of treads fighting here. Chemistry, 2-man saw coming in for TeRRoR. Let's just double check if we got a Werewolf while I was checking my phone there because I had an important message. Nope, not yet. Chemistry coming in for both players. These plumes are going to be pretty decent. They are elite at this point. You know, the 8 range is going to be nice against the onagers, but at some point TeRRoR must be able to get siege engineers. There's quite a lot of farmers, so he's not really spending the wood, well, the food. And that's a lot of woodcutters, so he should have the resources for siege engineers sometime soon. Maybe he'll get it when he gets chemistry done. Looking at his resources, yeah, definitely that's the case. A little bit much on farmers. I think maybe you should start transitioning them off, but that's up to him. He knows what he's doing, more so than I. 1 treb probably going to go down to the ram. This ram may be able to get to the onagers, maybe he'll be able to get the trebs. TeRRoR is actually really good at this. He's very good at just repairing his onagers and trebs when they're getting attacked. And this is just going to be a plume vs onager microfest, isn't it? Decent amount of trebs here, 1 castle down, another castle coming up, so we're going to see 3 castles here making plumes once again. But you know, castles are pretty expensive compared to Siege Workshops making onagers, so that's maybe not the best move. Siege Engineers now coming in. These trebs are going to be pretty decent, especially when Werewolf kicks in. That was a pretty big hit there, and Melkor's losing more of these than it's worth. Like, he's not even really able to kill the onagers faster than they can be repaired. And there goes most of his plumes. What clears some mass trebs, a couple of monks, and a few lombos? Well, some eagles. Taking a look at Melkor's resources, he's stacking up the plumes a little bit. Maybe a little bit short on the old gold that... But, sorry, my speech has just gone out the window. But yeah, he could definitely start taking into eagles now if he wanted to. The rams are not going to be working in this situation too well, I don't feel. I feel just pure eagles might be able to work out for him. That's a lot of plumes just queued up in 2 castles, obviously, but, you know, cancel those, maybe consider transitioning. He is taking this gold down here, which is quite nice. He does need the gold, obviously, mines, and he doesn't have the relics, so... Oh, it's pretty unfortunate just not being able to snipe that one onager. And there goes a lot of his army, that's not so great. TeRRoR is pretty enclosed in his base. He doesn't seem to have a way out to this point, but he's able to push out with the amount of units he has against this push. Runes are quite high tier civ though, and personally I would rank mines as low as TeRRoR rated Berbers, but I don't think anyone's that cruel. Siege Ram coming in. Siege Ram is maybe not the way to go. It could be quite good here, but with these Siege Engineer onagers, he needs something to kill the onagers if he wants to have Siege Rams. Eagles is kind of what you kind of have to go here. Because plumes just can't beat this. There's nothing plumes can do. These longbows, they do have ballistics, and obviously a 11 attack is pretty devastating to the rather tanky plumes. TeRRoR taking more into his archer armor, so when this castle goes up, he's going to have 3 castles producing lombos more likely. Yeoman coming in, and Werewolf. These, yeah, these trebs are going to be able to kill quite a lot. These plumes don't really stand too much of a chance against them. Yeah, I personally don't like the mines, but that's just it. I do have playstyles that do work with them, and I did use them to beat melee once. But that was just simply because of an absolute fluke game, really. So what is TeRRoR going to do to push now? He's just going to add more Siege Workshops, mass more onagers. Maybe if he does get attacked by eagles, he could do a little bit of attack round and that might work. Longbowmen do have a high natural attack. They're slow firing, but the high attack is really useful against things like eagles. So, you know, they're not going to do well, but, you know, it's a nice little army to have on the side, a little bit of an addition to the onagers that should be able to keep things alive. Siege Workshop dying in 1 volley of hits from this many. And this is not doing anything. Yeah, no. Run. Just... Some eagles right now would do quite nice, but... The plumes... TeRRoR now going to try and mine this gold. Melkor does of course have advantage of this one. He is building Siege Workshop here to try and break in this side at the same time, a little bit of a distraction. But Melkor is going to lose the access to this gold down here, and that's not good news, especially since he can't push from here at all. So he's just going to get pushed this direction, because as soon as those trebs unpack on this castle here, that's it. Hashtag TeRRoR Micro. I don't quite know what he's trying to do with this, but, you know. See drums are coming in this direction, maybe they should start pushing here. Might force a little bit of the onagers to retreat, that might be a bit of a better attack, but you do need plumes. Looking at these resources, TeRRoR is 200 pop and he's just floating so much, there's nothing he could do at this point. Melkor, 2.5k gold, which is astronomical, on 800 food. That's a lot of eagles he can make with that. A lot of stone, more castles, more defense, maybe plumes later on. But now is the time to start making those eagles. Make siege eagles, as we say in the trade. He's just taking some infinite micro fests here, running his plumes right into the Rangers, just hoping that they fire on each other. The problem is, even some basic scouts would defeat most of this, and then the Sea Drums just deal with the rest. Looking at gold, second gold's run out. This gold over here, still a decent bit. The main gold should definitely be out by now. Yes, it is. Extra stone out. Main stone in the back is out. Secondary stone is out. He's very, very low in natural resources, and he has basically nothing protecting him anymore. 2 panic castles so you can build more plumes, but he's not going to be able to out-micro these Onagers, not at all. I think Melkor is kind of screwed here. TeRRoR's still 200 pop and his resources are just so stupid at this point. He absolutely went full... GG call from Melkor, but just come on TeRRoR, just locking in your own... Oh, that's some pro strats right there. I would have probably gone Eagles in this situation. Of course, the Brim player can always go champs. But as soon as you kill the Onagers first and then you go champs, they might have a harder time to recoup the Onagers, so you could just use your plumes at that point. But yeah, I would probably consider going to Eagles quite a bit earlier. TeRRoR started taking back the main map control as well as just taking out the sides, so pretty easy win from this point on. Looking at achievements, of course, with the 6k score lead someone mentioned, we have 155 units killed, only 40 lost. And those 40 lost were not too many. Just trying to think of how many of those units killed were Sea Drums, probably quite a few, maybe 15, 20. Resources collected by a long shot for TeRRoR, like, it's not even comparable, just mostly stone from Melkor because he did have the extra stone. Lots more gold, of course, a lot of that is from the relics. I want to see the relic gold, 3.5k, and he had a slight overboom. When I say slight, I mean pretty hefty considering he was floating like 6k of each res at the end there. Melkor did have a nice fast imp time, but I don't feel he used it too well. I mean, he did use it well enough. He did probably the best you could do. It's not what I would do as mines, but I would say he does no better, and with his macro, he should have been able to probably pull that one off a little bit better, I feel. Let me just quickly head into the scoreboard. Let me just update the scores. 1-0 for TeRRoR. I love one bars, but man, they get stuck in your teeth. Heading straight into game 2 here, of course, Melkor vs TeRRoR. I'm going to Alt G this one. The fuck? I forgot to change these colors. Okay, so this is my Alt G. So you will be teal and the enemy will be red and your allies will be purple, I believe. I completely forgot to change this, so I can't make TeRRoR blue, but teal is better than green for seeing on the map, so we're going to go with that. Melkor in his stereotypical red, we're going to keep it that way. Here we have the Spanish vs the Burmese. Burmese are a quite good 1TC civ, they're actually pretty strong. A lot of people have been rating them a little bit lower as they have been these days. I've always rated them as maybe not the best. And, you know, maybe my rating of them recently has also probably been a bit lower. Not a massive fan of Burmese myself. I feel their economy bonus is a nice little one. But it's mostly just, you know, like Spanish or Janissaries with the strong unique unit, and I feel 1TC approaches are maybe not the strongest these days. Melk over here with the Spanish godlike map. Just looking off the bat, okay, maybe it's not that great. Back area, decent amount. Deer, pretty bad to be honest. Those are going to be annoying to push. Main gold, not that forward, but not that bad. I guess it's okay. Main stone, decently safe. I would say it's, especially since this wall's off here, that's quite safe actually. Couple of golds. Just double check this is arena, so trust may happen. These golds maybe not so good. But it does have the extra in the back, which is, you know, can make all the difference, especially if you still have access to your main gold. So, what are the Spanish going to do in this situation? Maybe Conquistadors, maybe he will go Scouts. Knowing Melkor, maybe Scouts. Looking over here with TeRRoR, he does have the Burmese. What's he going to go? Ironby? Are Ironby going to beat Conquistadors? Not really. They can't really run them all as well, I feel. I feel it's better to have the Conquistadors snipe them like they're knights, really. Of course, both units decently similar. TeRRoR with his map over here, save second stone. His main stone is... it's okay. I mean, it's not forward. It's, you know, towards the front. If he does get pushed, maybe conks, but he's probably going to get pushed, you know, quite far away from it. So I would say it's okay. Over here, his second stone, second gold, maybe not so great. Decent deer. Other second gold, not great. Main gold, very safe. I'd say it's a decently safe map. Just having the safe main gold and the safe second stone is all you can really hope for. And the extra stone here maybe helps him a little bit. Burmese can always go for monks. He could always go double monastery as a monk push or boom behind it. But I don't really know what we're going to expect. I don't see Ironby come into play here. Just not too big on the concept of Ironby at this point. Especially not vs Conquistadors. I am very curious as to what TeRRoR is going to go for. Pretty difficult player to read, but he's going to go 25 plus 2 into something, so... yeah, I see Conquistadors winning because both are hit and run units. Ironby have to, you know, constantly keep running forward, which is, you know, definitely slows down the attack time quite a bit. These two are actually being pushed. I'm a little bit unsure. So if this gets towards late game, what we're going to see, of course, Spanish full trash, but obviously the much better halberdiers for the cavalry that Spanish players have. Spanish players not too much in the way of archer options to be able to defeat things like the Halbs. But they do have good hand cannoneers, and the Burmese are not well known for having really strong siege options, like siege rams or siege hunters. TeRRoR going for his 25+2, he's probably going to go for either a smush here or a monastery opening into just a boom. Looks like Conks over here from Melkor. Don't quite understand why he's going on the gold early, but he is pushing the deer. If he manages to get this deer in, then I think he should be fine food-wise for 26+2 with the strategy. He might be a little bit late with the stone, maybe? We'll just see how it goes. It's an interesting build nonetheless to go 26+2. It's a pretty all-in conquer build, I feel, if this is what he's doing. Take some wood, yeah, this is looking like a pretty reasonable conquer build to me. TeRRoR pushing the deer away from his TC just because he's a pro player. 6 on wood, yeah, a little bit low, but that's his usual 25+2 motif. He doesn't care about having the wood to actually build things, he just sort of does when he can. Well, I'm the one who said I want the PBC removed from them before the Iron by nerf. Typical Spanish maneuver, all you have to do is use 2 villagers to build the blacksmith market next to each other. So when one's done, moves on to the other. So what are we going to see here? Oh, trapped relic inside, that's always a nice advantage. That's a little bit of map hacks there. One of the extra stones is now trapped. The extra gold is kind of between them, and the other extra gold is back here. Reasonable distance, yeah, I think Conquistadors might work. Maybe he's going to go for a 2TC approach. I don't really know what we're going to see here. Clicks up roughly on time. You know, TeRRoR's a little bit faster, but he went for 25+2 instead of 26. This should be enough stone to easily build a castle. When you're Spanish, that castle is going to go up really fast. So you shouldn't have a problem. I have no idea how long there my mic was muted. I wasn't saying anything, I just looked at it and I was like, thank God. My phone rang, so. So here's the castle coming up. These 2 monasteries should easily be able to defeat the castle over here, making good conquistadors, because obviously that's just not a lot of conch production compared to monk. Monks are a lot slower to create, of course, but you know, conchs don't generally be monks. If you have 2 monks, 3 conchs, at least 1 will get converted, sometimes 2. Own monks coming out, so if Melkor manages to quickly take map control, then he'll be able to start taking some relics. If he takes some relics here, he's probably going to be in quite a good position, because obviously Spanish with a lot of gold. They have quite a good tech tree because they have all the cavalry options. You know, they have the Hussar, they've got the Paladins in case they need them. They have very good monks of their own, fully upgraded monk tech tree, as well as the Inquisition tech, which is really, really strong. It's quite a big bonus against the Burmese, really. If he has an advantage, he manages to get the gold advantage with the relics at least, then he's going to be in a good position that the Burmese monk discount doesn't matter all as much. None of those conk shots landing on the scout for some reason. Oh, that's some bad luck there. But of course, both monks are going to go down. Just for the scout is maybe not really worth it. But yeah, if he has good gold bonuses in Spanish, he's going to have better monks in the late game in case he needs them. Of course, things like onagers are not really going to come as much into the question if we see those kind of monks in the Spanish. Now, if you stay 1 TC, not quite like this. But if you stay 1 TC and, for example, you just add farms, like, all you really need above this is, you know, like 6 or 7 more farms. And then just keep piling on gold after that, you'll be able to click up Imp almost as fast as a 3 TC boom can up. Sometimes even faster. And if you, well, the goal is to delay your opponent in the meantime, so your opponent is going to get like perfect boom times if they're, you know, you're delaying them with conks. So you're going to be ahead if you're getting that kind of boom time. You don't need to abuse the market at all. As I said, if you're still 1 TC, you need fantastically low amount of farms. Because, you know, by the time you get to Castle Age, you add all your farms so you can make conquistadors and run your TC. Anything after that is just fine. If you're adding more TCs after the castle, then of course you're not running them for quite some time, because obviously they're not there. So you can just add the farms early and then add the TCs, and you still have a bit of food banking up. You should have a good food eco. It shouldn't delay you as much, but, you know, it's gonna delay you still. Oh, this is an interesting fight here. It depends how many conquistadors get converted, and only one of them gets converted. 4 conks left, 5 conks left, and that's enough to... Oh, he sniped one of the wrong monks. Oh, and another one gets converted, but that's a lot of monks down just for a couple of conquistadors, which no longer win the fight. Milker has 1 relic. TeRRoR went for double monstrate and has no relics. That's pretty hefty investment, pretty much a waste of investment, really. Really good for Milker in this case. He is behind by 8 villagers. TeRRoR is 3 TC booming here. Decent amount of stone. His food economy is looking pretty well set up at this point. A little bit on wood. Maybe he wants to add a few more villagers. He wants to boom a little bit better, I think. But maybe he wants to up quite fast, so that's always an option. Milker here, of course, running the 2 TC is going to go up to a third. The third's just going to help him out. He has no siege. He has nothing to really push this with. He's going to have a hell of a time killing these monks, though. These monks could make or break this game. But if he gets in, kills 2 monks, and the other 2 convert, he's going to win the fight overall. Oh, 2 coming in from behind. Those could have been devastating. Oh, and there goes the monks. Okay. I'm fairly certain that one just got converted after the monk died. Oh, wow. Double monstrate is pretty easy to beat, but you have to be quite careful with it. It can be really strong, especially when you're Burmese, and you could change it into a smush if you don't, you know, properly deal with it. So there's always worries when it comes to this kind of thing. Then again, every strategy is easy to beat if you have, you know, to be fair, I would also agree that Almo does have conversion hacks. That one game where it's just like all the eagles are just getting converted non-stop, that just tilted me so hard because, you know, eagles should have resistance. But no one here or watching the VOD knows about that game, so... Who's housed? Milker's housed. Typical. That's a lot of monks now, just going up 6 months, and they just managed to get scouted, I believe. Oh wow, this is looking pretty dangerous for our Burmese player here. I don't even know what direction he's heading. And he's, yeah, it's losing the monks. Trying to keep a couple of conks for himself. If he saves those for later and then he keeps converting, he might have some better chances. At least that way he gets something out of it rather than letting his conquistadors die as soon as they're converted. I don't see what TeRRoR's going to do. I mean, we were talking about his main goal being pretty safe and the rest are maybe out of the question. That's a little bit of an issue when he starts running low on this gold when he's spending it all into monks. That's like a good 2k gold in monks that have already died. So what is Melkor's plan here? He's very, very close to upping. Same with TeRRoR. And all of the food from Melkor just disappeared, so I guess he wasn't queuing anything. TeRRoR's going to imp first. If he manages to get block printing illumination, he's going to have some good times. He can imp now if he wanted to. Except he's missing a building, apparently. He has Monstrays, no Siege Workshop, no Uni. There's the Uni. That's not so good when your opponent might be able to click up soon. Of course, if you have this many relics, 4 relics, soon to be 5, then that's actually putting you in really good position to just buy some food so you can click up. Heresy coming in. Oh, now we know why he's Heresy Melkor.
Servidor. Servidor. Presto. Servidor. Sí. Servidor.
Mande.
Presto. Sí. Presto. Presto. Presto.
A little bit of Conquistador micro. Of course, TeRRoR is now up to imp with like a good 20% head start. I don't think we're going to see Melkor imping anytime soon. He said spend his gold on the Heresy. Probably better option than imping, to be honest, and MP doesn't have much better options right away against the monks. He's not going for towers or anything, he's just going to castle the second gold. And a castle that could easily be trebbed if TeRRoR had the stone. TeRRoR does have the stone to build his own castle. Maybe by the time he has, you know, good monk upgrades, he's going to be able to just stick a castle here and easily tread this down, because Melkor's not going to be imp yet. You could drop a castle into a double monstrate, but the thing is your village is just going to get converted, so I don't... I wouldn't go for that. And you have to kill all of his monks first and have map control. TeRRoR is going for Skirmisher. Looks like he's just going straight for Skirmisher, really. I don't see anything else coming from him. Maybe he will get Chemistry right away for Skirms at the same time as for Bomber Cannons to be a siege. He's getting Redemption though. He's going to have pretty much every monk tech he's going to need sometime soon. 4 monks can do a decent bit of damage to his army. Not with Redemption though. Not with Heresy, sorry. So is he maybe going to get Theocracy, just try convert as many as possible, just knock out the army, let Skirms do the rest. But he's just not going to have any of his own. Petard from Melkor may be an accident. If it was deliberate, then he's, you know, he's in a good position. No chemistry yet. TeRRoR's resources look okay. Maybe still a little bit of wood there. Pulp-wise, both are the same villager count. TeRRoR did idle for a little bit longer. Melkor's base is looking pretty good though. He's still in Castle Age. He's starting to research some cavalry techs, so he's going to just mass some knights, which is... it's okay. He can mass some knights and use them if he is, you know, struggling with anything else, because he does have the Heresy tech. So these skirms are just going to melt the knights. The monks aren't going to do too much against them, but of course you then have Conquistadors to help send the monks. TeRRoR does have ballistics, but this is some intense micro strats right here. So knights coming in to start dealing damage to the skirms, and then the monk just getting sniped by the Conquistadors. Is TeRRoR adding more monks? So he's starting to move on to this gold over here, and yes, he is adding more monks, not as many more monasteries. A little bit of wood, you know, good 500, 550 wood, that's enough to make some more monastery, some more ranges to deal with the skirmisher queue up. Knights are just doing pretty bad to the skirms. He should just run the Conquistadors right out of here right now. Bring in the more knights, easy win. He's just trying to get into the convert range of the skirms. Resource wise, he's actually looking quite close to click up. When I say you have 5 relics, you can easily buy your way up because you've got basically unlimited gold. You might as well use it now while you still can. Loom coming in. What is he planning on doing here? So he's over here checking out this side of the map. He knows about this extra gold. Yep. So maybe he might try to move over there. Over here, he did get the castle up still on the stone, obviously, as we talked about earlier. This is where one of his stables is. He's not building more, but he does have the one petard. Maybe he wants to build another one just to break in real easy. Imperial Age only coming in now. How much knowledge does TeRRoR have of this castle? He knows it's there. Doesn't know about this one, but he probably, you know, has guessed by the gap in the wall. Because he knows he had a castle somewhere quite early on. Fletching coming in. Okay, fletching's an interesting upgrade. Lots of monks, lots of skirms. No chemistry yet, no BBC, so Siege is going to be a little bit behind. He needs to work on this one a little bit. I feel it's probably what he's going to be going to do anyway. This trap can reach from here, that's pretty nice positioning. He's looking pretty vulnerable from this side. If anything breaks in here, this could be quite devastating for TeRRoR. And TeRRoR is leading Melkor right to him trying to take the extra gold. That's a lot of villages that are going to go down. TeRRoR is 9 villagers ahead, but there's about 9 villagers here, so those are going to go down. Overall, we're looking pretty even here, except the military count. We are more for TeRRoR, but it's mostly just skirms which are going to die to the knights, so I feel that Melkor has a good advantage here. TeRRoR getting bloodlines. What the elephant? Does he want to go for a like out? I can see elephants working, kind of, but that's an interesting choice to say the least. TeRRoR just holding Theocracy now coming in, so he's going to be a bit better with his monks. He doesn't have to micro as hard. This castle undoubtedly going to go down. But the thing is, there's not that much. Oh, well, whoa, these Melkor techs. Conscription, Supremacy, Plate Barding Armor, Cavalier, Chemistry. He is getting a lot. Chemistry, maybe BBC. That's probably going to be just to help with the monks, help with the trebs. Why is my phone freaking out? Someone trying to call me again. Anyway, Siege Workshop coming up now, but this is a lot of army. This is enough to actually deal with this. I think the Conquerors are going to just be used to snipe the monks, but the Cavalier coming in, they're just going to wreck the skirms. As long as the monks go down, there's still going to be Cavalier alive left. And here we go. I think this should be the end of TeRROR's army, providing the monks get sniped here. If not, there's still going to be a decent amount of Cavalier alive. No attack upgrades are going to kill skirms in one less hit, I believe. I don't know about Burmese skirms because obviously the oh, Ironby. That's why he's getting bloodlines. That's interesting. It's going to kill the knights. It's going to work quite well. Ironby Monk Treb is a pretty strong combination, but only generally quite early. Of course, Melkor does have Bomber Tower and skirms. Melkor has much better skirms. Obviously, only one armor upgrade for the Burmese, whereas there's going to be all 3 for the Spanish. So what's Burmese player going to be doing against the skirms? I can't really think of what he might be considering doing. The Ironby though are going to be quite nice against the knights here. Ironby faring very well against Cavalier. I would probably try and avoid this one a little bit. Thumbring, Bracer, Ballistics, String Archer Armor. Yep, pretty tanky skirms about to come. The Ironby will die to the skirms at the same time as the monks are not going to last too well either. Skirmishers are going to go down. Bomber Towers are going to be really useful against the Ironby. The Ironby are not going to last at all against Bomber Towers. So against the bomber towers, I can't really think of what TeRRoR might be going. He might just consider going bomber cannon, but yeah. Oh, capped ram. Capped ram's going to work against the skirms, but the cavalier are probably going to be in here. Blue fire is the mod of the gods. It's just how you identify as me. If there's blue fire, then this is a lot of bomber towers though. I think the siege workshops here are just going to get taken out of the game. Capped rams are going to come in soon. Conqueror against the first capped ram that's about to come in. He has no cavalry at this point. He has a lot of food and he can afford to get, you know, work towards the Hussar upgrade really quick. So maybe he wants to consider doing that. He has a trade cart just for the pro strats. Yeah, I'm thinking build up a light cav might also work in here. Aside from that, there's no way to really kill the capped rams here. TeRRoR still does not have chemistry, he's not researching yet. Melkor again, light cav guilds just for the better selling. He maybe needs the gold, he does have the relics even. Light cav siege ram of his own. Siege ram's gonna be really great here. Defends the arm by the skirms, capped rams. It's a nice little addition strategy there. Yeah. Nothing here from TeRRoR on this side, but we do have a couple of cavalier from Melkor. Maybe Melkor might, as we saw in the previous game, build a siege workshop and just try and push this direction. I think you see that happening. Spanish are quite a nice civ, especially when it gets to the late game. You can have a really bad tech tree and a really good eco bonus and you could do okay. But if you have a really good tech tree like Spanish, you can really get away without having the best of tech trees. At least one of these bomber towers is going to go down, but there's enough light cav here to, you know, at least try and stop that. Looking at the score difference, so looking pretty even. Melkor is overboomed a bit with an extra 20 villagers, but population wise he's doing pretty much the same. TeRRoR does have a lot more military and it's proving quite hard for Melkor to stop it, especially when it's just going for the skirms. Siege rams are now in though, so the trebs are going to die. Everything should be dying to these siege rams, I feel. Finally, we're seeing here develop. That's a lot of villagers that are just going to come fuck up the rams here. Lots more racks being... oh, racks in stables. Okay, more light cav. TeRRoR busting out his own light cav. Of course, he has no upgrades yet. He's getting his own Hussar. But we're seeing pikes coming out from Melkor. Oh, that explains the barracks. I can see those working. How's TeRRoR going to stop this? Well, basically the same way Melkor over here is. He has to send enough villagers. And the cavalier over here are a big help. Another bombard tower. Melkor can, of course, with the 5 relics, afford to just buy more stone if he needs it. He still has a lot of gold left on the map. This one in the back, he's only got 2 gold miners on. This one, he's got 5. I mean, he managed to take some of TeRROR's here even later. Well, earlier. And he's taking this extra. I don't know, Spanish have quite good bomber cannons. These rams are going to go down. These skirms are probably going to go down in the process. I'm feeling TeRRoR does have a good army comp here. But now there's a ram over here. So as soon as this ram starts pressuring here, TeRROR's going to have a bit of an issue. Because with these bomber towers here, it's going to be really hard for TeRRoR to press. I don't see him having any trebs left. He might have 1 or 2 hidden that I can't see. But aside from that, space wise he does still have a little bit of space left if he needs it, but he's kind of walled in by bomber towers, so... The gold situation for TeRRoR. He's already taken his main gold and the second gold. He's on these last 3 tiles of gold. Not so good, 1.2k gold or something, and something around that in that pile. Yeah, these skirms are just melting, especially without chemistry. TeRRoR now getting forging though, he's going to have pretty strong Hussar on his hands here. course, the Hussar, they can be hit by the bomber towers and it's not the end of the world. If they're killing the skirms, you can still push with them, so it's perfectly fine. Hubs now coming out from Melkor, they have... well, they're -2 armor upgrades in a moment, but it's fine. He's getting architecture, so these bomber towers are going to be pretty good. 2-man saw, obviously a nice eco upgrade to get. Let's just hope he has wheelbarrow by now, because we all know... no Hussar yet, which is a little bit surprising given these resources. He's, you know, been going like half quite a long time and been floating resources quite a long time. I would think for these relics, maybe Hussar might be a really good investment. They're going to last quite a bit longer against this kind of army comp. A little bit not paying attention there caused all those Hussars to run into that. Yeah, that's actually quite a lot of capped rams, but obviously there's more siege rams. A little bit interesting because we're not seeing any trips coming out of TeRRoR. Of course, he's just making iron buy, but his gold count is so low. What is TeRRoR going to do when he runs out of the gold for the iron buy? He can't just go Hussar Skirm, it's not going to work for him. Especially now that the halbs are coming into play. Still, well, he's finally working on the armor, so that's good. Yeah, those halbs are going to add a really nice portion to the meat shield there, even just a few. I can see Burmese champions coming out, but they're not, again, going to work too well against things like the bomber towers. I think this is kind of an unstoppable combination from the Spanish. He just doesn't have quite enough of it yet, but TeRRoR's not killing enough of it at this point, I don't feel, to be able to ensure that loss. So this is happening over here. I wonder if this is going to encourage Melkor to start attacking this with the rams. Just click on this, right click rally point, start making like 3 rams, forget about it. Don't need to do anything after that. It's going to cause a lot of extra effort and, you know, damage to TeRRoR. More than it's worth just to queue up a couple of rams. TeRRoR calling the GG, of course can't fight this. These rams just can't get to the bomber towers, and of course, you know, he's actually quite high on gold. I don't quite know how he managed to get that. He wasn't losing that much iron buy, maybe he just wasn't spending it. I haven't seen him make iron buy in a little bit. But yeah, he just didn't have the gold economy, especially when you're comparing, you know, -5 gold piles. -5 relics, sorry, and then also the gold tiles. As some of yours were stolen and you don't have access to the extras because one player has them in the back and takes the other one. Pretty strong play overall from both players. I'm just going to update the scoreboard now because I have a tendency of forgetting. We are at 1-1. Military stats, a lot more lost from TeRRoR. A lot of those, of course, would be skirms, but early on he did lose a lot of the monks. That's the word I was thinking of. He didn't have trips to use against the towers. By the time the bomber towers started to be, you know, made, or at least a little bit more forward than his castle on the west side, he, you know, had lost his troops by that point. I think he was too caught up making iron buy of his castles rather than making extra trips to try and push them down, because obviously the capped rams weren't really going to work. The capped rams just kind of existed as a meat shield. Economy stats. Pretty even for both players, 6k more food, 6k more wood there. Gold stats, decent bit more for Melkor. Of course, 4.5k relic gold and a little bit of an overboom on the villager high. TeRRoR a little bit low in villager high. He did end at like 170 pop, maybe 10 more vills, he would have had the full 200. It's a little bit of extra army that might have been quite useful for him. Imp times, yeah, Melkor went for a really long castle age, which is quite interesting. It was a good move. I feel he didn't have anything extra to add to the fight in Imperial Age against the monks that would have the upgrades for the Imperial Age, you know, the block printing illumination earlier. So going full Castle Age, I think that was quite a good move. Getting Heresy, it's worked out for him. Now, just as Discern suggested, I'm going to quickly move the timer. Sorry, as he wind about. Alright, El Chapos, we are back. We're just going to head on to the next game now. This is game number 3 in the series. We're currently at 1-1. Welcome to the forever abiding issue of not having an overlay. Okay, so here we are, game number 3 in a best of 5 that was played between TeRRoR and Melkor. Just going to quickly fix the LG here, so we have Melkor in the red and TeRRoR in the teal. This should be blue, but I messed around with the colours a bit in the past. And it's better than the green that he plays, it's easier to see, so we're going to go with this. So Italians vs Teutons, this is a really interesting matchup, in which case the Teutons clearly win. And let's talk about that. Quick look at the maps. The Teuton map is main stone, not very ideal. Main gold, not so great either. Both second golds outside. This is not a good map for gold. At least the gold is not quite forward, but it's still pretty much there. So this is not Not a map I'd be too happy about. Extra berries outside, no one gets those. Second stone inside, pretty safe. Back area here, maybe a little bit. You know, decent bit of back area to expand. Here is where we go. Double extra golds. That is really nice for TeRRoR if he manages to get around to scouting this far out. That is, yeah, that's a pretty interesting map right there. So, you know, bad on the golds, but both extras. Good thing, because no one else can get the extras, just him. Looking over here at Melkor's map, probably not going to be linked by TeRRoR, but you know, you never know, TeRRoR might do stuff. We have a main stone here that is not so great. We have a secondary stone that's got to be safe somewhere, probably. I know there is. Secondary stone outside, not so good. Really nice safe main stone. Two really nice safe secondary golds. Sorry, main gold, sorry. But yeah, all three golds for both players are in the exact same positions. Just these ones are inside and these ones are outside. They're even mirrored. They're pretty much identical. But yeah. I definitely like Melkor's map a decent bit better just purely because of the golds. But the lack of stone might come back to beat him against the tunes. You don't really know. Maybe he wants to do something stone-wise as a TeRRoR castle defense against maybe, you know, the monks from the tune player. So, you know, that might be a bit of a problem. Tunes, of course, in any matchup, they could always smush against a lot of opponents. They're one of the civs that you generally don't smush because they have the conversion resistance. Their monks can't be converted by other atonement monks because, you know, they just resist the conversion quite a bit longer. So that point is when you just decide to, yeah, just do other counters. Almost losing that boar there, that would have put me in some pain, but at least I managed to get it in the end. That's such a horrific boar. I hate it when boars just don't have good AI minds of their own. If you hear a lot of sounds from me drinking this sports drink, by the way, so ignore that. I'm having one as a way of just sort of making up for the cigarettes I smoke. But I've always viewed Italians as a master of all trades in the same way that, well, jack of all trades really, that the Incas are. Except, you know, Incas are quite a master of what they do, whereas we have Italians here which are maybe not the best at what they do. They have a lot of options, but maybe not the best at any of them. But, you know, we see the same with the Malians. They have very good versatility, and that is a really big strength. So I'm not entirely sure what we're going to see from Italians in this matchup. It's one of my least favourite civilizations to play. We're probably not going to see Genoese. I'm just thinking of it. Tunes do like bracers. Their skirms are not the best, so it might be a little bit more difficult for them to throw in counters. So maybe some kind of thing along the lines of Arbalast from an Italian player. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to see here from Italians. When it comes to the tune player, TeRRoR's probably going to boom. I feel, just knowing TeRRoR, I don't see him smushing. Of course, he knows that Melkor always does low risk map control strats, you know, crossbow scouts, things that monks die to. Yeah, fast and monk treb's really nice, but I go scouts every game in my own 1v1s, and in TGs is when I do strats I should be doing. So ever since I started doing fast and monk treb on TGs, like everyone's doing it, it's just weird. But yeah, I can see that working for tunes here in this case. As Italians, obviously they're going to die if they try it. Italians do have a decent boom, because obviously they can up earlier, they need less food. A little bit less gold doesn't matter so much, but less food when you're upping to Castle Age is a big bonus when it comes to just having less villagers. TeRRoR is going for some kind of really fast, 25+2 obviously. Whereas we're going to see 28+2 from the Italian player, which is going to look like scouts. Finally we get to see Melkor do Melkor strats. He does have the usual amount of wood he usually would have, 4 on berries. This is pretty iconic of his strategy. Okay, he's going to go crossbows apparently. Unless he changes where this villager goes, then yeah. Yeah, there we go. If he was going to go 3 on gold, I would think that's definitely crossbows. This villager building the barracks a bit early, it's not the end of the world. Looking at the relics actually, considering he's about to go scouts, he doesn't have to venture too far. TeRRoR doesn't have too many all too safe. If he had one here, I'd be a little bit more concerned. This one here is pretty far out though. If he has scouts here quite early, he could definitely get that. And this one of course is, you know, not quite here. It's still pretty far out. It's quite easy for Melkor to be able to get map control with the scouts. I don't know why he's keeping his scout in. I think maybe he just assumes that TeRRoR is going to do some very fast up anyway. Because he does 25+2 every single game. TeRRoR doing the same build as always, so it's really hard to predict what he's actually going to be doing. It feels like a lot of players these days just sort of do like a build that's like a generic build and then don't follow through with anything too specific these days. I'm not a massive fan of going crossbows when it comes to that though. It's knowing his style, if he does that then, you know, of course he can do that. But I think he is going to go scouts. Yeah. When I go crossbows I usually like to do 3 on Golden Dark Age, or at least move 1 during going up to feudal. Because I like to be able to afford an archer as soon as the range is up and I click up. Because when it comes to that case, you of course can really snipe anything that comes on the way just that much easier. Having to wait for your villagers to drop off some gold is a pain in the ass, really. Typical 4 on gold on the way up. He usually likes to go up to 10 farms. 9 in this case, that's fine. Gold scout added. He's going to add second one, yeah. TeRRoR has a lot of farms. He's not going to smash. He's going to boom. Yeah, still only 2 on gold as well. He's not really planning anything other than boom. This is interesting. We're seeing boom games from both players, or both players' typical strategies. Speeding this up a little bit, we see a decent bit of scouts. We see 3 in total. No more being added by Melkor apparently. He's just going to get the relics. Monastery coming up from the Teuton player. Not adding an RTC right away. Can't afford it. So he's going to try grab a relic, but I don't think he's going to have much success. Maybe he might be able to get one. Nice. I always find it quite bad to be able to, well, to see someone build town centers like this, because if you build them right against a wall instead of 1 tile back, you have no room for mangonels, so it's pretty much harder to defend against mangonels if you do that. Yeah, Relic's just gonna get taken over by Melkor here. He's keeping the weak scout. Oh, he upgraded to Lycav as well. He's now getting heavy plow. He should be adding the second TC by now. There is. 2 TC approach, 3 TC approach, it just depends on how hard TeRRoR invests into defense. If TeRRoR has a very strong defense, then Melkor's going to 3 TC. If he has a really weak defense, which is not actually, you know, it's not common for Teutons to have a weak defense. Of course, they do have the monasteries and the monks. Scout gets converted, but not the Lycav. Absolute troll move, this. Okay, so if he just keeps running with these Lycav, he can actually snipe all the monks and then just collect the relics which are sitting right here. And there we go. Scout gets converted, not the Lycav. That's a little bit unfortunate, but we're going to slow that down to real speed just so we can actually keep up. TeRRoR has no chance of getting these relics. I mean, he's lost his monks and he lost the closest relics, and of course he isn't going to be able to get this one anytime soon. Taking a look back at this, Smelker of course bringing in the relics. Gonna grab this one. So what is TeRRoR going to do? He does have a 3TC boom in full motion, so he's going to be out quite fast. Milker is also on 3TC. He is not building any forwards, anything to really deny this. He knows TeRROR's probably going to mass monks. Maybe he's assuming he went double monastery. It's quite hard for him to tell at this point. Sees Workshop coming off TeRRoR. Maybe he's thinking that he might have to defend with Siege. Otherwise, he's just looking for an upbuilding because his resources are not looking too bad. He's a little behind in gold, doesn't have too many on gold to click up anytime that soon, but maybe. Sniping the monk, he's got some good value there with that light cav. He can really harass with it. Back into reality, now to see a spew of dead monks all over the place. Population wise, TeRRoR is ahead for 5 villagers right now. Of course, Melkor's only just now getting wheelbarrow while TeRROR's getting handguard. So that's going to be a little extra different distance on that part. 6 in stone, I think TeRROR's maybe just not going to power out a castle. Maybe he just wants to have one for conscription, maybe just defense. I don't really see what the Italian late game against the Tunes in this case is going to be though. TeRRoR does have a reasonable economy. It's 24 minutes, he's about to click up soon I think, getting sanctity. That's nice. I think maybe he wants to have a monk push, maybe he wants to do something that he might want to try to prevent Ondras with. I didn't get a notification in the chat, but I'm assuming Mem hosted, so thanks to the host, Mem. So I'm kind of curious as to what the tune push here is going to be, because of course now they're both imping roughly at similar times. It's really nice for the Italians to have the cheaper up. Again, I am thinking Arblast is probably what we're going to see from the Italian player, but if they do have fully upgraded Cavaliers, if they need it, they do have some good monk decks, you know, Heresy, that kind of thing, if they do need it. I don't really understand why TeRRoR is investing into the monks though. Maybe he just wanted sanctity, but it's not going to make a big difference. Maybe he just wants to try and power out these light cav. Maybe not the smartest move, he might lose all his monks for essentially nothing here. Yeah, I thought that would be the case. Still nice that he does have the extras in the back, and he did scout them. I'm surprised he did. So far still economy upgrades. I'm not seeing really any unit upgrades coming from either player. I'm thinking maybe Melkor might even consider... Oh, what's he building? This might give us some inside barracks. Yes, condos. Thought so. Yeah, it's a pretty hard balance. He is flowing quite a lot of resources. These are condo res, so if he does build, you know, a few more racks, maybe he's going to do it. But what is he going to push with? Is he going to go for some kind of fast gunpowder here? I'm thinking maybe HC BBC mixed in with some condos. Maybe BBC is the siege break in, condos main army. Tunes are not going to be able to fight that right away. It's going to take him a little bit of time. TeRRoR now getting iron casting. He's probably just going to invest in the... He's probably not going to be expecting Genoese or anything like that. He might want to expect... He might want to go TKs maybe. TeRROR's always a bit of a memer, so you know, Teutonic Knights we're probably going to see. Let's try right away. I don't see him building any... Well, there's the barracks. So, I mean, you could consider Cavalier. Cavalier can kill condos. Condor's nice fast army though, pretty hard to beat. Finally seen some infantry upgrades coming in from Melkor. Chemistry right away of course, but Onager coming from TeRRoR. TeRROR's going to go... I could definitely see Onager against Italians as a nice option. Of course all their Arblast, their hand cannoneers, the general counters to your infantry. Nice move. I think at this point Italians can really just do what the Tunes can do, but the Tunes can do it better. Outpost coming out here, I don't see what Melkor's really going to do. Maybe he's going to try and push this stone, if he could push this out of his base. Maybe he learned from last game and he's not going to focus on the 1 point. Looking like map control is pretty firmly Melkor's. I mean, TeRRoR can push back, but without army you can't do more than just kill these racks with some trebs. Tracking now coming out, you know, this could be raided easily with just a few condos. Like, if TeRRoR loses his main gold, then he's very bad access to this. Melkor does have full map scouting though, so you must know that TeRRoR does have the extras in his base. Either that or here, which would be extra unlucky. TeRROR's going to lose out in the TeRRoR. So this castle's probably going to go down eventually. This one, Teuton Knights are maybe not going to be on the cards. He's making some, and they're going to be able to beat the condos, but at what price? I think Teuton Knights are just way too expensive in this case. They're not going to be able to beat the mass of the condos, especially since it could be reduced so fast. He has lots of resources, but he just has 2 castles and needs to make trebs, so he's not going to be able to do that. What I could really do is maybe just Cavalier is probably the next best thing I could think of that I might be able to make, you know, to be able to defeat the condos. And generally waste the trebs, that kind of thing. Italians can't really beat Cavalier right away unless they have, of course, a lot of castles and they have to make a lot of Genoese, which is a bit of a problem, especially since you need elite for them to be even remotely effective. 100 now coming in, no siege engineers, Botkin are coming out. I don't quite know what he's aiming for without any ranges. But he's going to be able to kill this castle, no problem. Yeah, Teuton Knights are a really nice unit, but of course they only have 5 melee armor here with no upgrades, so they're not, you know, exceptional, but they're pretty strong. As I said, I've always admired this about TeRRoR. He's always really good at making sure that his trebuchets are repaired if they're being attacked. Oh, and that just about happened. That would have been a really nice shot on the condos if there's more onagers. But if those condos managed to break in, that would have just been TeRROR's end. He's now just going to panic all this. The trebs should just be packed up at this point. He's not going to be able to get in. Scale mill armor, he's going to work in the TKs. He does still have this castle back here. He doesn't have elite yet. It's TeRROR stone situations. TeRROR could build another castle soon, but it's going to be pretty slow. I feel maybe it's going to lack the army. Genoese here are going to be pretty strong, especially since they've already got chemistry, they've already got bracer, they've already got now 1 armor upgrade coming in, a couple more to go. TeRROR does have Onager already researched though, which is a big benefit, and he's added more siege workshops in our castle. Yeah, these elite Teuton Knights, they would murder the condos here. There's not enough Genoese to deal with even the Teuton Knights at this point. The condos should just try and do their best to snipe the onagers, and when they're gone, maybe the Genoese might have a good chance. Or a better chance even. I can't even see how little damage. The condos are not attacking the TKs yet, but... yeah, TKs are still surviving the small amount of Genoese here. The attack rate really goes up with elite, and we're not seeing elite. So yeah, a treb went down by the cost of how many condos, but the condos are not going to be useful anyway, so you might as well get whatever you can with them while you still can. A little bit more Genoese massed up here. We are not seeing any more upgrades. We're seeing crenellations coming in for TeRRoR, so his castle is going to be that much more effective. I quite like crenellations as a nice cheap tech that's very, very useful. TeRRoR is abusing the market, so he's trying to just buy stone to build more castles. That's fine. Lots of castles are going to be pretty hard to take down. TeRRoR did have, of course, really... Melkor really had early chemistry, so... maybe hand cannoneer might be a little bit better than Genoese. Rip Treb. There's enough Genoese to do a little bit of damage. They're not getting ring archer armor, they are elite. Teuton Knights are not going to stand much of a chance, but of course they've only got 7 range compared to the 8 on even without Siege Engineer's Onager. He needs something to really clean up Onagers that's not going to die as quickly to Teuton Knights. Maybe he wants to go for Hussar. Italians do have nice full upgraded Hussar, I believe. This would be quite good for just running behind, sniping the Onagers. Decent amount of damage. They're not too expensive to lose either. Bomber cannons snipe the Onagers? It's a nice move. Of course, bomber cannons, they do in small quantities do beat Onagers, but of course, when we're talking mass Onagers here, bomber cannons just aren't the counter. He does pure tab ballistics. Getting the final armor upgrade was definitely going to help against pure to have an extra 2 pierce armor to have the +4. It's going to be pretty significant at reducing the damage from the Genoese. The Onagers are just going to die though, which is not ideal. Italians do not have siege engineers, but they do have cheaper bomber cannons, so he can at least make up in mass for what he lacks in range. The problem is, these bomber cannons cannot kill the castles, because the castles, when he gets Bodkin Arrow, because they already had the +3 from Crenellations, they're going to be able to reach the bomber cannons. Well, to be fair, even with just fletching, these will be able to reach the bomber cannons. RIP some wasted resources. TeRRoR's still not pushing over here. Melkor's still not pushing over here, but he did actually create some side army here. And of course, TeRRoR is going crazy on the gold. He must have a decent overboom. Yeah, 140 villagers compared to 120. He's definitely up there in the population. Very, very similar military counts. TeRRoR's military though, pretty damn strong, especially in combination. He's gonna need serious trebs to take down the Crenellation castles, especially now fletching is in. Ironclad is coming in, so if Melkor does start making Hussar, which I did just hear a stable, he's not going to be able to kill the Onagers as easy. No siege engineers. I've always found Tunes to be a really strong civ, and Ironclad is a buff they didn't quite need, but it's a nice handy thing to have. Especially their champion plus siege onager combination, it's really strong in the team game side of things. In the 1v1 they can still achieve, you know, champ onager, and as we're seeing in this case, even elite Teutonic Knight onager. Looking at TeRRoR's resources, he is a little bit short on food. Maybe he's a bit lacking in terms of farming space. He could build some more here, more here, more here. I think maybe he wants to probably focus a little bit on siege engineers, just be able to completely render the Genoese useless. Yeah, he's too busy microing the Hussars to be able to micro the BBC onto the Onagers as well as the Hussar. Sorry, he's microing the Genoese. It's a little bit problematic. Yeah, the Hussars are not doing that much damage, especially with the extra armor. The +4 is a really nice bit of melee armor to have on an Onager. How much damage is that per hit? 3? No, Paladin's still nice to have. Missing Husbandry is not so massive in terms of TGs. In 1v1s, Paladins can happen. I just think that TeRRoR wouldn't use Paladins in this case, of course, against the Genoese. So what is he doing now? He's going to lose all his... Yeah, he's just trying to make Genoese, but as I said, Genoese are a really bad unit. I hate even concept of Genoese. So all the bomber cannons are done. Military numbers, Heresy is basically... Sorry, Melkor is basically out of military. I think maybe he should switch to ranges or something in a moment just because he simply just doesn't have any. He's maybe not paying too much attention. That's... Jesus Christ. What are you doing, TeRRoR? Okay, Bomber Tower coming in for the Italian player. This is going to be really nice against the Lungers, but of course there's enough Trebs here and they're going to be pretty uncounterable. Well, I find in like TG Pocket for Italians, it's always much better to go for really fast boom, like a 3TC minute boom to like a 26 minute imp and then just go condos or something rather than just wait for Genoese. I find it to be just generally quite weak. But yeah, TeRRoR's just smashing this one at this point. Looking at his resources actually, Milkor is really flowing them, not making them, but... Oh, TeRRoR resources, yeah. I kind of agree with Marv here. I think he should be making Siege Rangers. Pretty solid upgrade. I said anything he does that renders the Genoese further useless is gonna definitely help him here. When hand cannoneers are out of the question, then he's basically won the game. Siege Ranger now coming in. Ironclad is just really strong in these Rangers. The Hussars just aren't doing it. What can Milkor make as Italians? I can't really think of anything. The Ironclad plus TKs are just too strong for the Hussars to even approach. Siege Engineer soon coming in from TeRRoR. No, he gets ballistics because he is a Mong or something, I don't know. What's Milkor doing in terms of production? Yeah, the bomber cannons, they just aren't really going to cut it at this point. He did research the bomber tower, but I don't see him... at least there's a few. Okay, he's planning to be pushed. He's planning to open out into this side of the map, which is going to be quite nice. He's going to build, yeah, stable siege workshop. He's just going to try and let this mass try and push him and then just like avoid it and end up here. Decent enough. TeRRoR did really luck out with the extra golds there though. Oh, but TeRROR's out of gold. He has 2 tiles of gold, which basically 1k gold left to fuel him. He does still have 1k though, so he could do a lot with 2.5k gold, and you could even sell this wood and still have a lot of gold. Now this is like 1k gold worth of wood. So you know, I don't think he's doing all too bad in terms of his resources. He is of course Popcat, so he's not spending any either. Milkor of course 5 relics, 2k gold. He's definitely going to be a little bit more future proof. I think maybe he wants to build a back monastery though. More stables. So many stables. He's gonna need a lot more hussar than he's intending to do anything with these SO. No siege engineers still. I think maybe he just wants to run a couple hussars up to them and get them to attack ground. Relying on TeRRoR to attack ground is probably actually a solid strat. Not gonna lie. Oh, TeRRoR. TeRRoR. That was such a terrible move. Just kill me later for that bad joke. You did not just hear any Celine Dion from my phone there. So yeah, Bomber Tower's getting denied. That's pretty irreparable at this point. I really don't see what Milkor can do in this situation. He is 1.5k score behind, and that's mostly indicated by his lack of villagers. 113 to 145, the amount of resources TeRROR's flowing is huge. Milkor is still flowing a lot of resources, but he isn't spending them. He doesn't have production buildings. Is he finally going to start making orbs, HC? Just basically use HC behind Bomber Towers. It might work. He says a reasonable amount of stone. He can buy more stone if he needs it. TeRRoR is now adding monks. I can finally see what he's up to. I think he is now completely out of gold. No, he still's got a little bit left. Okay, so this is TeRRoR's last gold army. If this actually, at least, as long as Milkor can defend this to some capacity, he might have a chance of coming back in this game. Bomb tower better go up, but of course the Trebs are going to be a bit of a problem. And the bomb cannons are sniping enough of the SO, especially with TeRRoR's lack of gold. This is going to be a nice point, which could even turn around. I think the Trebs can't range this. They might do now they have siege engineers. Nope, it's a watchtower. He built the wrong one. So unlucky. That would have been really nice if it was a bomber tower as well. So the monks are finally in, but what are the monks really going to convert? They can convert the bomber cannons, yeah, nice. Ah, finally Arbalast coming in, and they're quite good upgrades. Now the Onagers are starting to get sniped down. What is TeRRoR going to do? He can make halbs for days with those resources. He could probably just fully upgrade, pop up himself on halbs. He already has all the upgrades, so you know, selling to get the resources to make a SO is not a huge problem. So I think maybe he can still hold this one, but being basically out of gold on the map and clearing up some villagers to be able to afford some more pop space. He spent so much gold on these monks, which converted to 1 BBC. Oh, and he's eventually going to kill his own units. TeRRoR is selling his trash resources like crazy to queue up more SO. Thank god he's making no more monks, but yeah, he's just going to spam halbs at this point. Halb SO again, strong combination, especially when the SO don't die as easily to the melee attacks of the Hussar. But just the unlimited gold with the 5 relics here, it's just going to be such a game changer for the Italians at this point. What can really beat this at this point? Well, I'm thinking maybe even condos could do a decent bit of damage here since the TK production stopped. I'm thinking if Melkor did have the racks, he would be able to maybe spam them. He's a little bit low in villagers again, maybe make some more and more woodcutters, build some more farms around your base. A bit low in the area though. But yeah, some condos might be a little bit better than Hussars here. Oh, I forgot the extra armor resistance now on the trebs. I'm curious as to that myself. TeRRoR's pushing position seems a little bit odd because Melkor did set up these BBTs very early to just defend, hoping that TeRRoR would push him, and that way he could then expand to the side here and then just basically flank the entire middle attack. But that doesn't appear to be the case. TeRRoR's just been fighting here forever. If TeRRoR tried to push here, a little bit of a different story, but he's going to need his trebs down there, and if his trebs are, you know, needed up here to deal with this, he's going to be in a bit of a problem. TeRRoR's just going to try to get some lucky hits in the Arbus, the Genoese here, but I don't think he's going to have much luck, at least, in sniping the bomber cannons. Yeah, I'm just not feeling the Hussar in this case. I think maybe he should just save the food, because he's spending lots of food in Hussar, and just make condos with all the extra gold he's floating. Condos wouldn't exactly kill them faster, but they would be able to at least deal with the halbs. There's not enough elite Teton Knights kicking around anymore to deal with it. And the Onagers are walking right into the range of the bomber towers. These can just so easily be sniped. Yeah, TeRRoR having to constantly unpack and repack those trebs is a problem. Bomber tower coming out over here, that's quite a nice little move. He's able to protect his stables over here, but of course he could then run Hussars into the economy over here. It feels like either player could raid at this point. Of course, both players are pretty much open in one way or another. This attack from TeRRoR is indeed pushing. No, Melkor is still 20 villagers behind, and his military count's not looking any different than it did before. Oh, I forgot about Pavis already. I think both players are pretty focused here. No, only single flank play, same units. They're just not going to make any changes. Oh, RIP quite a lot of Vils. All of a sudden, I'm not feeling so good for Milker. He does have all the gold, but this mass here just walks right in here and wins. There's not enough here. This could just get cut off. There's very, very little units, very, very little Vils. I am very curious as to this. I don't see Milker really dealing with the bomber cannons and the trebs at this point, though. He is still making Hussar, and it's not working out for him. Milker is just losing so much farm economy at this point, though. He has basically no room to farm. This can just easily be raided, just as this has been. I think Milker has lost this one considerably. Like, this is the rest of his army, and when this goes, he has very little else to do. He's not even making any more army. He's down to 30 military and 93 Vils. Pretty low. This hole needs patched up. It's not going to be. He's kind of lost his base at this point. As I said, I think when he had 2k, 2k5 gold, maybe condos would be a better option than Hussar against the Hellbonder. Yikes. Oh, okay, that's not something I saw coming. Champions. Okay. That could be a game changer, but you need to start making more villagers. There we go. Okay, this is play I like to see. I think Melko can actually start recovering this one. Champions here should be able to deal with the Halbs. They do have a decent number of upgrades. Of course, the bomb tower helping out, but the Halb raiding is just going to start happening sometime soon. This is looking pretty difficult because this is still pretty difficult to move, and yep, TeRRoR now broken. TeRRoR has now broken into Melkor. 75 military to 15, even with these champions. There's nothing he could do to stop this. Losing all the relics, 1.7k gold to now last him the rest of the game because he's not rebuilding a monastery. Now he is. He might be able to recover the relics. TeRRoR I don't think has any monks left. TeRRoR now adding some more monks, but again 200 pop against 116. It's just huge. Maybe 30 champions can maybe help change the tide of this battle, but the ETKs are starting to come back into it. TeRRoR does have a lot of resources, he can still sell to keep the gold incoming. This is a really tricky situation. I'm not really sure to describe it, but TeRRoR basically just has this game won. I don't really see how Melko could recover this without all of his space. He doesn't even have the space for the farm eco, and look at his farm count, probably like 35. 72 farmers. What did I just miss? I suppose I can see that happening. 16 lumberjacks. No miners, no relics though. Tunes is definitely top save for most of us. Slavs is probably Melkor's favourite. I don't really know. Oh no, Franks. Yeah, it would be Franks. It's Franks, then Slavs and Tunes. I would probably go with his top 3. As for my top 3, I would probably say something similar. Not Franks though. Franks a little bit lower, but they're still one of my favourites. Skirmishers now coming in. Of course they are fully upgraded because he had all the upgrades from before. Oh, and the Treb's getting cleared up. Oh, that's good news. Of course, the Teutonic Knights taking about as much damage from the skirmishers as they are from the champions. Now what? What's your plan against the ETKs now they're coming in? I don't think he really has a plan. I should have looked up the time of this game before I downloaded it. Oh yeah, this is looking game. He can't get those relics, and now he's just going to be finding his TKs. He has no villagers out here. He has some orbs that can deal with some of the champs, some of the TKs, but nothing more. He's back to making hussars. I don't understand why he makes hussars for so long. He's persisting in making a unit he hasn't actually accomplished much with. No pushing from this side. This is this feels like I'm playing. Milker asking where he got the gold from. TeRRoR managed to make it out with 2 relics, I believe. Don't know where they are, but there's 2. Oh yeah, there's no recovering from this point, especially since the amount of villagers that have now died. His farm count's probably dropped. His farm count's dropped 20 idle villas, and he only has 92 villas in the first place. He has nothing to make units with. GG called. Pretty long-term GG there, I think. Yeah, I would really put this down to the hussars. I think the hussars just such an oddball choice. They're nice to get at first, and it would be nice to get the siege, but they just stopped working, and then eventually he managed to bleed TeRRoR dry of gold, and then the TK stopped, and it was just all helps. I think with 2.5k gold, instead of spending the food on hussar, just make condos, would have really ripped the shreds out of TeRROR's army. I think it got way too late when the champions started coming out. Let's go into achievements, and yes, my throat is dry from this game, it's just been too long. Units killed 600, units lost 500. It's just monumental levels of units. Of course, Melkor lost the most buildings. Villager high 120, he needed a little bit more, but when that dropped, he still just didn't replace it as quickly as he should have. 6k relic gold though. That makes up for the extra mines, definitely. I blame Italians, not good Civ. That's just a lot of resources collected over a lengthy game. TeRRoR, of course, collecting a lot more gold. So I'm going to quickly update the score here. We now have 2-1 for our players. And we're going to go back to the weighing screen. So I'll be back in 3 minutes, going to grab a drink, that kind of thing. I can't be the only person that spells Coke all over the keyboard regularly. That was game 3, we're going on to game 4. At this point, if TeRRoR wins, then we're seeing a 3-1 win to the best of 5. Otherwise, we're going to have 5 games. Okay, so just jumping straight into this game, we are on game 4 of this best of 5 between TeRRoR and Melkor. Melkor now has the Khmer, TeRRoR now has the Saracens. We are again on the wrong colour, so let's quickly switch that around so Melkor is red. Looking at the bases, Melkor with Khmer, he's not really looking to have stone too much. I didn't see that switch player for any reason. Compared to my Khmer, is beautiful. Well, he's not wrong. Main stone not looking too great, but of course he doesn't need to use Khmer. Second stone not so ideal. It's a little bit back, so maybe he could achieve it. Main gold back, but pretty forward, so you know, if he's against maybe monks, that might be quite a big problem for him, especially with the second gold there as well. Extra berries outside, no one has a hold of that. Here's the second gold inside, so that's quite useful. It's really good to have a second gold, it's alright to have an extra, but a second's really nice. So having a look over here at TeRRoR's map, we are seeing main stone really safe, 2 second golds really safe, really nice. Nice map right away. Main gold probably as bad as it could get, but with the extras seconds in the back, that's really nice. Second stone kind of out of the question. It's an okay map, it's pretty good. This might invite Melkor to try and push early, maybe not. Extra gold outside, a bit closer to TeRRoR. This one again, a little bit closer to TeRRoR, and the extra stone is closer to Melkor but trapped. 2 of these games we've seen trapped extra stone in the wood line, so that's not ideal. So I'm not entirely sure what strats we're going to see from these players. Khmer can go scouts really well, they can smush, of course they don't want to do it against civs with atonement. He has a bugged sheep trapped in the woodline, that's extra I was going to say fabulous, that's not quite the word I'm looking for here. That's really nice. So yeah, I don't think the Khmer map here is particularly good, it's okay. But missing a stone could be a big problem, especially for defending against monks of course. Saracens can smush. They could also boom, they could go Arbram, they can do pretty much everything. The tech tree of the Saracens is especially nice. They do have really good camels as well. So I feel maybe Khmer cavalry archers, they might not be the best in this situation. That's something that Melkor does like to go. Cavalry archers generally pretty strong. Khmer now do have the Arbalest, so don't really know what's going to be happening. Melkor getting tilted by monks. The usual. I guess they maybe had a chat in the lobby about all the golds that TeRRoR had in the back. So what build is he going for here? He's probably going to go for one of his regular builds, I feel. Unless he wants to do his like fast up to feudal crap where he stays in like feudal age for ages and then goes up to castle age. I've seen him do that before and it made absolutely no sense to me. So I have no idea what we're going to see here. TeRRoR's going to do his usual 25+2, maybe he will indeed go monks. It might work against Khmer, could be quite strong. Khmer save a lot of wood with their up bonus, like for example when they build their stable they don't need a barracks, they also don't need to build it early, they don't need to build it as early as a blacksmith or market because they don't need the buildings to up. They don't even need a market, so they can save a lot of resources and they could definitely make good use of it. It's especially nice if you want to boom. You could up really fast with Khmer and you could boom really well. TeRRoR's planning on trushing. I don't know how he was 100 food short at 21 pop plus loot. But okay. Oh. That's so painful to see. .38 of vital time, that's not good. So what are we going to see with the Trush here? It's going to be pretty effective, because Melkor, he's going to have quite a bit of time walling this area here. If he walls this area here and he walls this area here, he has a nice safe stone actually, but the thing is when you're panicking you don't think about it at the start of the game. So you're going to see the tower, you're going to start walling off really quickly to contain the area. You're maybe not going to spend too much attention looking for these small places to wall where you're going to be able to secure it. He can see that he can wall this. But yeah, this Trush is going to be pretty effective taking out the main stone right away. It might eventually make its way to the main gold. If I was Melkor right now, I would just flare my sheep upon seeing TeRRoR's uptime. And I would just say, bugged map, re. Let's see what TeRRoR's reaction is. Sorry, Melkor's reaction. Melkor just going ham to kill the market. He doesn't have loom. Oh, he did get loom actually. Nice. He's gonna start building a house, maybe not the most ideal of things, but you know, it's a lot of HP to kill. So now TeRRoR's gonna have to try and break in elsewhere. Here's good. I'm not really understanding the tower, but I guess that's actually quite a disadvantage of being Khmer, because you could get your up later to feudal age. So instead of doing a 28 plus 2 for example, you'll do a 30 plus 0. So by the time the Trush hits, you're still not yet clicked up. Oh, TeRRoR, you cheeky son of a bitch. Oh, that's interesting. And there's nothing Melkor could stop that except just build his own tower. But of course he doesn't have the stone, he's going to need to build a market right away, and he can't defend this. This is actually some really nice tower strats from TeRRoR. As for what's going to happen here, I don't really know. My thinking here is that, you know, this Trush does take away the Khmer's eco bonus in that, you know, they have to actually spend their time in feudal, they might make the buildings inadvertently anyway. Oh, Ritville. Oh, the village just survives just, but then dies. Yeah, this takes away the Khmer eco bonus, matches them with Sarah, Sarah wins with superior tech tree, that could be what happens here. I'm actually curious, how well did TeRRoR scout this gold? Well, now he knows about it because obviously the towers are firing at him. So I actually don't really know what Melkor can do to resecure this stone to be able to get his own tower to protect this gold. He's going to really struggle with this. Of course he is up, he's going to start making +2 knights, and that's going to definitely keep this one going. Fair defense against Trust being good, he's right about that. I'm just more invested in looking at his in-game chat, to be honest. It's probably more entertaining than the game. I hate to watch Trust games, I feel they're just quite boring. We see the scout here, this might be able to do a little bit of damage, as long as the scout's just chilling around here. Oh, there we go, there's an elephant. This is gonna make it a little bit of a difference here. But the SW is not gonna go up. And there we go, nice short game. 16 minutes, TeRRoR just losing because an elephant shows up. These Trust games are boring, but at least this one was over very, very quickly. That's what we call a throw in the trade. We're now at 2-2. Now we could actually take the break I needed to earlier to clean the keyboard I have because I spilled Pepsi all over it. I think it's worth looking at achievements. We all know TeRRoR had 38 seconds of sodding idle time to click up, so... nothing special. Such a meme game. But anyway, it's nice we're at 2-2. It gives us the opportunity to, you know, have another game. So let's restart the countdown and I'm going to be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, we're back. We're just gonna jump into the next game. Last game, the current score is 2-2. And here we are again with this good old bug. So let's restart the game, change overlay. The score is 2-2 and we are dealing with Melkor vs TeRRoR game number 5 in a best of 5. whoever wins this is winning this mini-series. Milker has the Japanese, John Slow has the Berbers, a Civ he rated 31 out of 31 Civs on Arena. Absolute low tier shit right here. So what we're going to see, Japanese of course, they're quite a good Civ. They might seem like, you know, maybe the late game is not the best, but it's actually really decent. I'm also going to refix the Alt plus G on these players, just so the right player is red for consistency. TeRRoR rated Berbers as 31 out of 31. I don't remember how Milker rated them. Middle tier, I think. Oh my god, I just looked at the gold on the map. Milker's main gold, that is nice. That second gold, that other second gold, that extra gold, that extra gold. He has every gold he possibly could have and they're all back. That is astonishingly nice. Main stone pretty bad, second stone pretty bad. That's yeah, that's an interesting one. No stones, but every gold he possibly could have in the back of his base. It's a reasonable back area, but honestly it just doesn't lend. I guess this is some more farm space. I have no idea what we're going to see here. Is TeRRoR going to trush? I feel he's probably going to trush. TeRRoR safe main gold, second stone is nice enough. Main stone pretty safe, maybe you can go for camel archers. Second stone out of the question, sorry, second gold, other second gold also out of the question. Looking at the map, of course, there's only one extra gold because Milker has both the extra, one extra stone, sorry. I cannot count the amount of times today I've said gold instead of stone. Milker has the extra golds, so there's only one extra stone out on the map, no extra golds. This is just such a good base, just no stone. But of course against Berbers, you know, maybe you don't want to defend against them right away. Maybe going Samurai is not the best option. But you do have top tier Halberdier as Japanese, so it's going to help you. Calm down, Glocken. You know I'm not going to. Anyway, where were we on this game? I don't really know what TeRRoR wants to do, but yeah, I would say he probably would trush in this kind of matchup because he just hates Berbers. Trush might work for him just because of the stones, but the gold is just going to be pretty incredible, so I don't really know what's going to happen. Milker probably either going to go crossbows or scouts, maybe just scouts for completeness sake. Of course, Japanese do have fully upgraded heavy cav arch, and that's a unit he does like to use. Later game, we do have options like Halb plus Capturam. Capturam not ideal, but of course Japanese Halbs will just murder most of the options Berbers can make. Japanese also hand cannoneer, they're going to destroy, you know, Berber champions, that kind of thing. And he is not going to... maybe he is? He's pretty late with these boards if he wants to trush. Thank you, Glocken. Do not fab to me though. My question is, if he's not trushing, what do you think TeRRoR's going to do in this matchup? It's just such a godlike map, I don't really know what's going to happen. TeRRoR cannot scout this in Dark Age, but he can in Feudal Age. So it's going to be a bit late by that point, so he's going to be blind trushing if he does. As I said, I think he is pretty late with this board if he does want to trush, but we saw him last game where he had 38 seconds of idle time just to click up. So he's not going to not do it again. Oh, he isn't going to trush, he's going to do his usual 25 plus 2 trash. To be fair, you probably watched this live. I know you did stream these games, I caught like some of the start games, but I didn't catch any of the later games. I have work, whereas you guys just don't, so... Usual build over here, Japanese do save a lot of wood on the money on the camps, which is really useful. He's not going to be housed, which is what I was expecting him to be. Getting absolutely janked by the deer though, that's always fun. Yeah, it's just the way TeRRoR does these random 25+2s every single game. 29? What are you talking about? Mem gave me 200 of this earlier. To be fair, Sunday does get more viewer figures than Fridays, but the viewers did drop at one point from like 50 average now to currently maybe 30. We did get hosted earlier and we did have 50, 60 for a long time. But the games have not been so great because we're watching TeRRoR, so... Are we going to see crossbows from Milker here? Because 3 on gold, that's very indicative of just opening crossbows. Against Berbers, you know, Camel Archers should be able to micro against maybe Scouts, so it's not going to be... They could also do Scouts better, so crossbows might be a stronger option here. Glockin is a bot. I'll make sure we give you the bot tag. Clearly. Still getting juked by the deer though, that's always fun. No barracks yet. Never gonna see the barracks. Yeah, this is gonna be some kind of archers. To be fair, TeRRoR's not faring better with his deer pushes. Hello, Mr. I mill deer. This is actually what I was talking about earlier, where I like to have 3 on gold, that way you could add an archer earlier. TeRRoR is now up with his What did TeRRoR do? He's doing 27+2? It's unusual to see TeRRoR go Scouts in my opinion, but that's just because his micro's pretty bad. But there we go, we're seeing archer range. Quite a lot on food, especially if going archers. So it's perfectly fine if he chooses to... He cancelled one build? There we go, he's cancelled both. So, I mean, it's perfectly acceptable if he wants to boom after the archers, maybe just do like 5 archers, maybe get Fletch, maybe get crossbow, and that will be it. Yeah, good luck, and I was thinking what you were about to say. You've got us there. You're such a jerk. Don't quote me on that. Oh. Okay, it's going for 6 on gold. He's planning to invest in this, maybe he wants to go for Siege Tower even. Crossbows do prevent forward castles, TeRRoR's ballsy enough to do that kind of thing. They can definitely win out in scout fights. TeRROR's gonna have to invest quite heavily into light cav if he wants to be able to start fighting this one back. Gold mining coming in, horse collar. Both players are going to be out to castle at a very similar time. Of course, TeRRoR 1 villager behind, but you know, 21 seconds more idle time. And you finally only now turn up Joshua, but as I said, he had 3 in Golden Dark Age. Just a big thumbs up for me. And 3 archers as well. There we go. It's just... I've never seen him do this before, but this is how I would do it. So I'm actually pretty proud of this moment, just where everyone's doing the same strategy in the same way, because it seems to be the most optimally designed way. As I said, decent amount of farms, you could actually support TCs off this. He's probably just going to build TC on his gold or something. Or even maybe on the stone. Monster coming up, that's a nice upgrade, bow saw especially. Is he going to wait before he gets crossbow upgrade? That's a lot of archers without getting crossbow. Could be pretty lethal if TeRRoR does decide to research like Av, though of course they can run away from the crossbows. You'd probably just have more delay on your mobile, maybe because reasons. Mobile app on Twitch is never that optimized. Anyway, looking back at the game, because we've not been paying too much attention to it, by this point I'm kind of tired of TeRRoR shenanigans. I just kind of want to move on to some real gameplay sometime soon. So we're going to see TeRRoR going over here, trying to grab a relic. Same thing for Melkor. But the thing is, here are all the scouts for TeRRoR. Melkor knows about the scouts though, he's going to be able to try and convert, and he's going to start losing these scouts. Crossbowmen now coming in. We don't see bodkin arrow. It's going to be fine though. These crossbows are actually just going to be pretty lethal. Melkor can probably... No, he's not going to be able to catch it in time. Oh, this is the same issue I had before where my antivirus picks up AOC. So every time I hover over these buttons it lags. I completely forgot about that. I guess that's why my game's been acting a little bit funny today. TeRRoR did research Lycav, not researching +1 or anything particularly, but you know, these scouts are cheaper because obviously Berbers and Castle Age cheaper units outside of the stable, so if he wants to add more, it's perfectly fine. Siege Workshop, okay. He's going to go for a little bit of a push here, you know, he's going to go for the monks mixed with Lycav, a little bit of siege. He's going to kind of have it all at not too much cost to be able to do a little bit of a push here. I think he's just going to head over here, try to get the relics. Maybe he might get 2. I think Melkor should just cut his losses and just take the 3 rather than try and take 4. He'll be in a better position, he has a better late game save just because the halberdiers is so strong against a Berber player. TC being added by TeRRoR. He's on 3 TCs at the moment, just going for a little bit of a boom. And he's just losing the Lycav fight. He's going to be able to get this relic because, of course, well, he would be able to get it if he had a gate down here. He's going to have to just delete one, and then he doesn't want to do that because it's going to let Lycav into his base. Oh, sorry, crossbows. Melkor's doing some splits to see. What's the quick hotkey for... Ah, Alt F. Well, that's happening. That monk is going to go down. Yeah, it should do. So it looks like no one gets those relics at this point. Melkor does not seem to have more monks on the way. Now he's finally making an extra one. But yeah, he just kind of has secure. Maybe he's going to have 4-to-1 relics, but... did cost him a bit of monks, and there's still this one rogue Lycav. This Mangonel is going to make all the difference though. I think maybe add in 1 or 2 more spears to the Japanese player just to tempt the Mangonel away. That might help. I'm really losing my voice today. I blame it for casting that 1 hour long game. Absolute murder. Bodkin arrow now, that's going to be quite useful, especially if trying to micro against the Mangonel. We were talking about TeRRoR micro here. Village count wise, we see 3 TCs from both players. TeRRoR sometimes does add a 4th, I've seen that in quite a few games now. But yeah, economy wise looking pretty similar. 5 villagers behind from Melkor, but he is going to have the relic. He doesn't even notice this apparently. Yikes. Now he knows. I can't, this isn't my stream, so I can't say what I wanted to say to that. So I just leave my comments on that be. Not a lot on gold from Melkor here. He has a lot of gold in the back of his base, but just not a lot of units on gold. I think maybe he's just going to cut his loss and let TeRRoR take that relic. TeRRoR did have to invest in a Scorpion plus Mangonel for it, so it's not the best trade. I still feel that TeRRoR definitely did fight harder to get less, essentially. I'm curious as to how he's going to deal with this Lycav. He's going to add one knight. Yeah, it's going to be nice. Not exactly a lot of monks from the Berber player. Of course, Berbers do not have sanctity. Pikemen restart to the Japanese player. Unexpected. And these crossbows are going to be perfectly fine for taking out this light cav. Overall, just a boom game, nothing all too interesting. TeRRoR adding a 4th TC. Looking over here, Melkor's just a little bit on the usual side of things. He's going to try to get gold, but he's not going to be able to get this gold. The knight is going to be quite nice, especially since the monk is just going to die. Pikemen got converted and then just got slayed in one hit. Sure, the crossbows are gone, but also the siege is going to be gone. TeRRoR's imping quite fast. I think Melkor is going to imp soon. He doesn't have a market, so he can't sell to it. As I said, I did feel he was a little bit low on the gold villagers. Of course, he wasn't spending much gold. But, you know, fell a bit low. He has a decent amount of wood, maybe not enough to sustain long-term production of, you know, adding a lot of racks in early imp and then adding a lot of halbs. But it should be okay, I think. He can't click out. Okay. Yeah, it looks like Glocken may be right. It looks like we're going to see camel archers come from the Berber player. TeRRoR is 8 fills ahead. He's booming just a little bit harder, which is quite nice for him, but I do have that little bit of a feeling that he's should not be as far ahead as he is than a player who just went some crossbows. I think adding the knight and, you know, maybe researching pikemen was probably the case. I think Melkor definitely prematurely researched pikemen. Going to move my earphone to the other ear because I'm deafened at the moment. So we're probably going to see camel archers. We're seeing ballistics, bloodlines. Looks like camel archers to me. As for Melkor, we're just going to see probably full help, but I don't see a siege workshop in the mix, and not enough on wood to have a lot of siege running. Archer range. Arbalast's not going to help him out too well. I don't see the Berber player going hand cannoneer anytime soon. Probably just skirms that kind of does the best of both worlds in this case. Full trash is Japanese, of course not exactly weak, because the halbs are just so strong. Japanese halberdiers, they just attack so fast that they're actually quite effective against a lot of normal units as well as just their direct counters like cavalry. And skirmishers, of course. I never found skirmishers to be that effective of a counter to halbs, just because in large scale battles they, you know, are quite good. As soon as they get close to the the skirms, then the skirms are kind of dead. Melkor just trying to get as many castle age upgrades as he can at the moment. And there we go, castle is a defensive. That's interesting. Okay, here we go. Brace our thumb ring. He's getting loom because he's got outside villagers. Chemistry. TeRRoR is now getting chemistry leather arch armor for the camel archers. He has some monks left. Treb coming out just in case he needs it. 2 castles. Conscription for the camel archers. Nah, I find the skirms never win, but that's just because I'm pedantic about using my halbs all the time. Like half the games I used to play used to just end up late game, fully boomed. I just spam halbs and win. Such a broken unit. Oh, I thought Melkor might be able to snipe that there. He's going to be fully upgraded soon because chemistry's coming in. The first archer armor upgrade, just a couple more archer armor upgrades. He already has thumbering ballistics, chemistry. Conscription probably the first one to come out, if not a Treb. Maybe Treb, because obviously he knows there's camel archers. Conscription will help with that after a couple of Trebs though. I'm curious as to what TeRRoR's going to do against the skirmishers. I mean, he is of course able to add a lot cheaper cavalry. This knight probably heading towards here because this gold can be, you know, damaged. Melkor did just scout that with his crossbow there. Melkor not wanting to take this one head on. He's starting to go into the stone. Is that another castle? Yep. No siege workshop, no onagers or anything along those lines coming out, no rams. It's a tricky one. Did TeRRoR delete this castle and then rebuild it? A little bit. Oh, this is about to turn ugly. This castle is probably not going to go up if some micro is done. Just one skirm on each fill and it's not going up. I might as well just let it go up. That's going to be a lot of camel archer production, but the thing is, how strong are they going to be? Elite camel archers, he basically fully upgraded. Casbah now coming in, of course that's really useful. We're not going to see Magrabi camels, I hope. Although to be fair, Magrabi camels I remember is really cheap for what it is. It's actually quite useful over time. I found it to be more useful than I thought it would be then. Then again, too many people watching Spirit of the Law videos. Casparuto coming in from Melkor, so those Trebs are going to be quite effective at killing the Trebs here, killing the castles. That's especially important. Magrabi camels, there we go. TeRRoR's just going for it. It's what we love about this guy. So he has this small army over here, and he's actually going to try to take some map control over here, just protecting the side of the map, as well as just having his main army over here. Don't forget that Japanese have better champions than pretty much any other civ. So it's hard to make champs against Japanese, and then you have samurai on top of that, which are just generally stronger and very versatile units. Well, it is useful. Like if you get hit with an onager shot and all your camels are half dead, you know, if you just avoid onager shots, because you're going to be running with them anyway, not taking like many direct hits. Just for the occasional one you do, it basically means nothing after a minute. Whereas otherwise, if you got another one, then you instantly lose. Like quite a lot of resources worth of army. So what we're going to see here, there's a lot of skirms. That's a lot of bomber cannons actually. I was thinking he was just adding a few for siege, but that's quite incredible. Where are we at on the Capro Trebs? We're at 4. That's enough they could actually start to deal with the bomber cannons. Still need a bit more. That's just quite an unusual combination. We've seen no rams, but we're seeing just full BBC. Oh, that's brutal. And I think TeRRoR is just going to lose so much of his army here, especially now that the halves are now getting close. So the skirms are just going to start taking everything out here. Granted, the Trebs are now down, and it's going to be quite hard for Melkor to be able to take out that Treb. He's adding more of his own though. He's able to add more skirms, but his production buildings are low. He needs a lot more production buildings. This is going to be an absolute microfest, but we might see some... oh, still camel archers, no knights or anything coming out from the Berber player. Which could make a little bit of a difference. There's so much bomber cannons lost though, and it's mostly just trash that's killing them. The Trebs are quite important. It's an odd one. TeRROR's completely out of gold, whereas Melkor has a lot of gold, still a lot of gold in the back of his base as well to mine. Don't know who's going to go for that extra stone. Definitely an unusual one. But come on, you need more production buildings. Spent all his wood, so hopefully he's making some. Or maybe just trebs. Yikes. If only these were werewolf trebs, that would be far more impressive, but they're still nice to have Usama trebs. These castles are actually not too far away from getting pushed. As long as there's enough trebs here to really take down the bomber cannons, then Camelot are not as much of a concern. Still just keeping an eye on the population though, about 130 votes for both players, but just 160 total pop. That's just a lack of making production buildings, especially with this much resources. And this is looking pretty over at this point. Not enough scouts to really deal with this. The bomber cannons are still staying up, at least one or two are still there. That castle's probably going to go down, so the trade production is probably going to go. These camel archers are actually standing up quite well against the skirmishers. They do have quite high HP at 80, they're quite a nice unique unit. Not as strong as they used to be, but they needed enough that they had that one patch. So TeRRoR is low on gold. He's now going to mine the rest of his gold. I think maybe if Melkor can survive until TeRRoR does run out of this one gold, he might be in a good advantage. That's looking pretty hard because he's actually staying at quite a decent pop. He has quite a lot of military still alive. And that's a lot of trebs from our Berber player. The skirmishers could easily finish off that treb. Quite a lot of hulls, quite a lot of skirms. I think this could be quite a confident win. Melkor just isn't spending gold though, so I don't know what his gold unit choice is going to be against these units. Another castle. Of course, he could almost soon afford to, you know, even buy another one. So he's gonna have 4 at that point. He's gonna have 3 when this one's built. I need to relearn how to speak English because right now it's just not working for me. But yeah, this is a really difficult combination for TeRRoR to fight. He lost so many bomber cannons, and I don't know how he's gonna aim to replace them anytime soon with the resources he's spending. So if these 2 castles go down, I think TeRRoR might be in a little bit of trouble. He is now starting to take the extra stone that Melkor does know about, he doesn't know he's taking it. But there goes one castle, and I don't see him dealing with the trebs anytime soon. Hussars starting to come out, that's really, really nice. Army not in the best position, but the Hussar as a meat shield in front of the camel archers is going to be as strong as the halbs in front of the skirms. They're basically counters to counters, but then counters to counters in reverse. I think we do need to see more trash, so he's finally getting towards the pop cap stage, which is definitely what you need in this kind of military economy. These Hussars not quite yet at the right armor level, but you know, they have enough. The skirms here are doing significant damage, but the trebs need to start hitting the camel archers sometime soon. And then just full halb spam in here just to make sure the rams don't kill the trebs easily. Use the trebs, my friend. Jesus. He's just gonna attack them and run away. Of course he could do that because Usama. Nice move. Really should be shooting at the camel archers though. So we have how many barracks making halbs? 4, and another 6, 7. That's about it. Definitely needs more. He's still mixing in skirm, so which is definitely a nice advantage. They're going to just help get the extra kills against camel archers. TeRRoR can afford to build another castle, which is pretty crazy, but his gold situation must be looking towards the worst. He's got 250 gold left there, about 500 left there at max. It's time to really get the Trebs out of force. The TeRRoR should be able to win this one. But yeah, the Trebs, they should have been shooting at the camel archers, really picking off their numbers, would have changed some things around the place. And there we go, now he is. Oh, that is raining trebuchet bullets. And there's actually not an awful lot that TeRRoR can do against this. TeRRoR's just going to throw his gold away, bleed out slowly. Now we're finally getting towards 200 pot for both players, 186 for TeRRoR, 193 for Melkor. By the time the barracks have made their current, unit selection, that's definitely pop cap for both players. So I think right now Melkor does have the stronger army because of the Trebs. I thought I saw a bomber cannon there. No, we're still not seeing enough anyway, bomber cannon from our Berber player. Oh, you saw Catapruto. I have no idea I've been seeing Yasama the whole time. It's because I rarely use Catapruto in comparison to the amount of times I use Yasama. I use Yasama keeps quite a lot. Oh, this is devastating though. This is gonna kill like 3 Trebs minimum. And the camel archers are running right in close, so there's not too much that's gonna happen to them. He's gonna lose all his camel archers right here though, I feel. Yeah. Oh, TeRRoR losing his army like that. That's not good. Genitors, of course, one of the worst units. In terms of unique unit usefulness, I would say Berbers are just slightly above Ballista Elephant. And below Elephant Archer in that case. Good job building an archer range in range of like 7 Trebs. That's gonna work. Nobody fighting on the sides though. I've been looking at this minimap the whole time. TeRROR's just using his extra space. Melkor is... I thought I just saw an outpost. No, watchtower. Okay. Yasama guard tower. Nice. TeRROR just calling the GG. He lost his army. That's looking at 3-2 win for Melkor. Yasama tower is really nice taking map control. They do die to the rams, but of course you have just even a few halbs because you're Japanese. The halbs will just murder rams. They're very, very strong. I think that's quite hard to push trash. I think maybe I would have liked to see a few more big shots on the units when he had the chance to with the Trebs. But either way, he managed to win. He's doing the same as he did with bomber towers in previous games. We've been seeing bomber towers in quite a lot of these games, like 2 games. And this game we're seeing Yasama keeps. So it's definitely not that unrealistic in 1v1s to happen. These Yasama keeps would just destroy everything, so. Anyways, that is everything for today. We're going to go over the achievements and we're going to close the stream off. Units killed 300 for TeRROR and 300 losses for Melkor. 224 kills for Melkor, same losses for TeRROR. TeRROR did kill a lot more, but of course it was trash and he lost a lot of camel archers as a lot of his gold costs. Decent bit hussar, but a lot of it camel archers. And also the amount of bomber cannons was crazy. Not to mention though, Melkor did lose a decent bit of Trebs, but he had more relics. Resources collected, pretty much the same on the food, pretty much the same on wood. A little bit more stone for TeRROR, not that much more though. And gold collected more for TeRROR, but then again, as I said, he lost more to trash. Faster age up times for TeRROR in pretty much all regards. Nothing too unusual there though. TeRROR did have more castles, and of course Melkor had more relic gold. They'll high for TeRROR. So anyway, thanks everyone coming to the stream. I'm just going to quickly head off now. Let's see who is streaming Age of Empires right now. Dobbs. No, he isn't. Apparently, he just went offline.